in a second. So we are live. We will begin. Okay. So yeah, we'll begin. Pretty in a minute or so. I think people are still trying to find their way over here. I get that. I was trying to find my way up this morning, so I didn't want to get up. Anyway, so let's see. And I'm gonna be watching chats. Um, so yeah, let's get started. Let me make sure I don't have any waiting rooms. Okay, I don't. So this is where I'm gonna turn off the waiting room. And we will get started right now. Actually, I think we don't have a lot of people yet, but that's because we're just honestly, um, getting started. So, okay. Welcome everybody to the 2026 Learn to Code Tuesdays opening session. I didn't even know what I was going to say. So I'm Taylor, and I'm going to be leading to this year. So last year, if you guys were with us, we had Laurel Wheeler from the Laurel Wheeler Foundation who started this whole endeavor. This year, it's just me. If you don't know who I am, I'm Taylor Arndt. I am the Chief Operations Officer at Techopolis LLC. I'll get to that in a minute. We had a rebrand. So if you had known us before, we were Techopolis Online Solutions. New year, new name. Oh yeah, right? So anyway, uh in case you don't know who we are real quick, I'll just get into it before we actually get started. That way y'all know. We make apps for Apple platforms, and we also make on-device AI solutions for everybody. So that's kind of what we do. And I'm super happy to be here with y'all today. We have a small group. That's probably because everybody's still trying to find their way to Zoom. That's all right with me. If y'all are on YouTube, that's all right as well. We have a Zoom meeting that y'all can register for. I'll put the link in somewhere. Haven't decided exactly. I might end up making a Learn to Code Tuesday link tree, y'all. I'm really behind if you don't know. So during winter break, our household got the sickness. So yeah, we're pretty behind for Learn to Code Tuesday. Normally I'd have this promoted in like 50 places, but nope, that's okay. That is not happening today. So anyway, we will deal with that when it comes, and we'll probably have more logistical stuff next week. But I want to talk about some of the logistics right now. So if you were this last year, we really emphasized free code camp. And if you weren't, that's okay as well. I will kind of get into some things. So last year we really talked about free code camp. And the thing is what we realized, at least this year when I was trying to figure out how this was going to work, people are coding on multiple platforms. And we also realized that people are never going to be in the same spot. So rather than trying to have a study club where we're going to actually learn in real time and like lose people because we're too far ahead or whatever, or we're too far behind, what we're going to do this year is kind of make it more question and answer and discussion based. Okay. So what this means is if you have a question about something, I don't know, how do I do something in Swift or how do I use AI? I know that's a very common topic right now. Y'all can ask those questions. And of course, I would like to have questions the day before, right? So by Monday, and then Monday I will send out through the email list. Okay, I'll give you all that information in a minute. So the thing is that this time it's going to be a little bit different because we're doing the opening session. All right, so I'm not expecting anybody to have questions. Honestly, the questions that I'm expecting people to have are logistical questions, and that's fine. If we have coding questions, that's great as well. We will get into that. But you can ask about anything. You know, if you're learning something through university or coding boot camps or self-taught or even AI, it's all on the table. Okay. Now, the other thing I want to address is that this space is for anybody. We have a significant population of people, including myself, who are blind and visually impaired. However, this space is meant for anybody, blind or not. Okay, so we want to make this as mainstream as possible. So if you have questions about like screen readers or other things, that's fine. But let's try to keep the conversation more like mainstream because we do have a sighted audience as well, and that's why I have video on. But y'all do not have to have video on. And welcome to everybody who's joining. And I have joined leave sounds so that way I can tell when people are here. So I just wanted to make that clear. And the other thing I want you guys to understand is that there are multiple ways of interacting. So if you guys don't want an email list, that's fine. We have a Discord. And I will give all that information in a second. We also have a Facebook event on the company page, the Techopolis page. So if you guys would also just say that you're going to it and share this with your friend. I challenge y'all to share this with at least one or two friends. Let's try to keep growing this community, okay? Because we really want to help people as much as possible. Now, the other thing to keep in mind here is that there's a lot of things that are going to be impacting the world of coding in terms of like with AI and everything else. And learning to code will never go away. In order to actually be a better AI coder, you need to actually learn how to code with the basics. By the way, this is a very unpopular opinion. And that way, y'all can understand if the AI is splitting out garbage. Okay, so I just want to make that disclaimer right here and right now. Okay, so if you're learning any language, now, of course, I don't know everything, right? So if somebody has a question about something I don't know, well, y'all can answer it, okay? So the thing is that everybody can answer everybody's questions, and you can learn, and you can ask, and you can have a good, fun time learning to code with other people. And our Techopolis Discord is a great place to meet other coders and non-coders alike. And so I'll be putting all the links in the chat. So y'all want to stay in the chat in just a minute or two when I put the link in the chat. But before I do that, does anybody have any questions? Y'all can just unmute if you so choose. Y'all can raise your hands, but honestly, that's just more of a hassle. So with a small group, just unmute and let's see if I can answer any else questions about all this logistical stuff I just mentioned. And I understand people are joining, so if you haven't heard any of it, well, let me know. And I could try to repeat as much as I can. Okay. I'm not hearing anything. Y'all can put it in the chat as well. I'll be checking that as much as possible. So thank you all for being here though. So now it's y'all's turn. All right, so this is where it's gonna get interactive. So I need y'all to unmute. Obviously, don't talk over each other. But what I want to do, if you guys want to, I'm not making anybody doing this. Let's do introductions. I want to know what you guys want to learn, why you guys registered, and maybe how you found us. Okay, so who wants to go first? Well, maybe, welcome.
Antonio will do it.
All right, welcome, Antonio.
Name is Antonio. I am maybe for the umpteenth time picking up Python again. It's one of those things, if you don't use it, you lose it. And I found this group on Facebook.
Okay, you found it through my page or the company page or wherever else?
Somebody else's page. They were sharing it.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. Thank you, whoever that was, for sharing my post. I tried to get it out far and wide, but the algorithm gods really sometimes don't like us. So, yeah, thank you, Antonio. Yeah, we could definitely talk about Python. I know Python pretty well, and Python's really good for training AI models, which is something I do for my apartment. That may be a presentation. Oh, yeah, and that's another thing too. We will have presentations once a month. If you guys want to present on something, you guys can let me know. It can be anything. We can present on how to train AI models or about on-device AI. We're also going to have some of those presentations be Techopolis updates, so talking about our apps and getting feedback. So this is going to be a very vibrant community. So questions, answers, presentations, everything. Antonio, did you have something else to say? I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, sorry, I had muted, but I thought of a question. I know this is streaming. Is it also recorded and posted somewhere or not?
It's streaming. I can get the recording from YouTube. Somebody had mentioned on Mastodon that we should do a podcast, so Michael and I are going to look into that.
Okay, I just rather not be recorded when I'm in a learning environment with other
Oh,
people and asking
okay.
questions and all that. But I'll keep my eyes peeled, my ears peeled to whether it's recording or not, and I'll act accordingly, I guess. So,
Yeah,
so
my
like this
apologies.
stream, does it stay on YouTube?
It does, but I can make it unlisted, but I always do this so that people can learn later because sometimes they can't learn asynchronously. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes they can't be there at the moment. So if anybody has a problem, I can figure out another solution, but this is what we've done in the past. So it seems to work so that people can learn later on the go if they can't make it live to the session. So I could do whatever it takes, but this is what we've
I mean,
done in the
I
past.
think like I think there could be like a compromise where people who sign up for this group and like prove that they exist somehow can get the link, but otherwise I don't want to be a YouTuber unbeknownst to me. So
Okay.
just
Well, I will figure out maybe I'll make it unlisted. So basically it will show up on YouTube only if you have the link.
yeah,
That's something I can do.
that seems reasonable.
Yeah, so I will work on a solution, but thank you for letting me know.
Hello.
Hello,
Hi, it's
welcome.
Lauren. How are you? Um, I'm here because I've gotten this registration from an email newsletter that I've subscribed to. I'm doing this because in Bits I'm doing this study session on HTML, and I need more understanding of that. And I'm trying to decide there's something that they're doing an advanced Python this spring, I think, and I'm trying to decide
Yeah,
whether it's
they're doing an NVDA add-on course, and I think that's anyway. And basically, if you guys don't know, NVDA is a screen reader. It's open source, and for blind people, and it's written in Python. You're gonna need for that course, I know specifically, Lauren, you're gonna need a pretty advanced Python knowledge.
advanced Python because I know a little more than I did last year, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's oh,
No,
so you
you're
need
gonna need to know how to do classes and things, I think.
oh it's too bad. All right, because I thought that maybe at least that he says they're not going to start with the Visual Studio Code and then try a few weeks and then
I don't
it's going
think
to be
so, but you can email him.
see Taylor, I'm glad you told me because I remember starting Python and I was struggling. I mean, I was the
That's what
beginning
I
was
understand
fine.
anyway.
What's that?
That's what I understand, but I'm not speaking on behalf of anybody, so I would talk to them.
Oh, all right. Well, then that's
Yeah.
okay. If that's the case, if that's what it's gonna be, then
Yeah, it's
forget
pretty
it.
advanced.
Then I'll have to stick with the HTML right now, and
Yeah,
because
I finished
that's
one thing first,
right.
my
I think you're
opinion.
right. Because now they're talking about JavaScript, which I can't even do anyway because I choir practice that night. It's Thursday night, so it's gonna have to be HTML right now. I mean, he
That's
gave me
fine.
say it again.
That's fine. Learn
Great,
HTML. Do that. Do use free
great, and
code
I
camp.
have
Use
the basic
resources.
Pythons. Maybe I'll just practice the Python I already know or have.
Yeah,
Maybe
and
that's what
there's
I'll do.
yeah, and Free Code Camp has good Python stuff. They just came out with a new certificate for that, y'all.
Oh, that's great. All right, well,
Yeah,
thank you.
you're welcome.
Thanks for letting me know. Okay, great. All right, it's too bad. All right, bummer. All right, was looking forward to trying at least at doing another, but
Well, Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know that would be the best thing, but ask them. But anyway,
You're probably right.
Any other questions?
That's it for now. I think it's it for now.
Okay,
Thank you.
welcome.
I'm muting.
All right, who else wants to go? If anybody else does, if they don't, that's all right as well. Anybody else want to unmute now, introduce themselves? I just want to kind of know what y'all's goals are and what you guys want. And if you don't, that's all right as well.
Yeah, this isn't. No, I'm just kidding. I just went.
Haha.
I'll mute again.
Okay. Okay. Roads connected to this course through bits. Thank you. So it seems like a lot of y'all are from bits, or at least seems like it, which is fine. And again, y'all don't have to introduce yourself. You know, I, I just want to understand what y'all guys want out of the course. So y'all don't have to do that. So, if anybody else doesn't have anything, I'm just checking one last time and then I'll get into some more logistics. Today may not end up going the entire 2 hours if we don't have a lot of questions and the logistics are pretty easy. So I'm just letting you know that you guys may end up getting an hour back of your day or however much it takes. It's kind of a shorter session today. Could be if you guys have a lot of questions about even code or the things you guys want to bring up. But if you guys don't, really next week we'll start getting into the code and everything else, and we'll probably do it a little bit today as well, but it won't be as heavy as next week when we're actually getting into more of the stuff that like in a typical week will be at Learn to Code Tuesdays. Because this week is not very typical. It's just kind of the opening session. So I don't know that I'm hearing anybody else wanting to go. So I'm going to now talk about the different ways that y'all can interact and like support this. We're gonna have a hashtag probably on all the social medias. I think it's gonna be Learn to Code Tuesdays. So I'm following that hashtag on like Mastodon and other things. So if you guys want to talk about that you guys attended this, you guys can use the hashtag Learn to Code Tuesdays. And I will be monitoring that and let's try to get something going so people can understand why they should come to this. Because I think it's definitely a really, really good thing to still know is learning to code. And even though AI is around, learning to code is never going away. I mean, I keep saying it, but people always ask, learning to code is never going away. And I think that's just something that's gonna happen, right? Learning to code is never going away. And yeah, so things like that are definitely important. Also, there is a Facebook event. So if you guys want to say that, hey, I'm going to Learn to Code Tuesday, if you're all into that Facebook thing, you can do that. And we're also going to have an Eventbrite event. That way, if people are not on Facebook and they still want to get it, plus we can get more into the mainstream with Eventbrite. And obviously, all this will be free. But these are just ways to interact and the mailing list and the Discord. Let's get into that. So I'm going to send the links to the mailing list and the Discord in chat. Y'all should join them. I know Discord can be a little bit squirrely for screen reader users, but it is definitely still usable, and I use it every single day. And so I will be sending updates through our Discord and our email list as well. So if you guys don't want to join one of them or whatever you guys want. Yeah. So let me send you all the mailing list and the Discord. So let's see. Okay, here we go. So the email address, I'm gonna obviously put this up as well. Learn to code plus subscribe at programmingforeveryone.org. But I will put this in the chat so you guys can find it and subscribe. I recommend subscribing if you guys would like. Here we go. All right. Plus subscribe. So I'm putting this up real quick. Learn to code plus subscribe at programmingforeveryone.org. So me. So that is our email list. That is where you can get all updates about Learning to Code Tuesdays and everything else. And you guys can talk and ask questions there, and they will be put on the Monday roster. So what will happen every Monday is I will compile all the questions that I've gotten, and then I will be able to put them in as a like just the email saying, here are the questions I've got, last call. And that way you guys can ask more questions. And then if you guys, for some reason, can't think of any questions that day, but you think of something on Tuesday, that's fine. Although I strongly encourage to ask the day before, that way I can get prepped. Welcome to whoever just joined. And that way it's just easier for me. So I just posted the mailing list in the Discord or in the chat. So you guys should definitely join. It is a discussion and announcement list, so just be warned. And it is through Google Groups. All right. So that's just something to keep in mind. Okay. Now, here's the thing. We have our Discord as well. And our Discord is I'll put that in the link in the chat as well. You guys should definitely join us there. And you can chat with some other Learn to Code people. We have a lot of people there. Let's see here. So those are the main methods of communication. We also are probably gonna have, well, we have a Google Classroom from last year. I'm gonna figure out, I think we're still gonna probably have that in some form. But I'm not gonna really do that this week. Just because we have a lot of logistics. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. But yeah, any questions about anything I just mentioned? I know people are still joining, so but yeah, let me know if you guys have questions. And welcome, Jeff. But yeah, so those are kind of some of the things to keep in mind when we are dealing with all of this different parts of this community. There's also other like websites and things for learning. So as I mentioned, Free Code Camp is a great one. I like Free Code Camp. You guys can learn a lot from there, Python and other things. And they have a good YouTube channel. And I know people who are blind do not like YouTube as much because the visuals. However, learn the Free Code Camp channel has great description on a lot of their stuff. Okay, so that's just something to keep in mind. Let me check my chats real quick. Um, let's see. So yeah, those are kind of some of the things that I have for logistics. I don't think I have anything else. I'm trying to think. Let's see. Okay, I think that's all that I wrote down for that. Oh, yes, one more thing. And then if you want to learn Swift and iOS development, of course, that's kind of my specialty along with Python. There's great courses like Hacking with Swift, and that is really cool. And they have a 100 Days of Swift UI course that is fully free. So, I've been talking a lot. Do y'all have any questions about any of this stuff? How does it seem? What are y'all's thoughts about all of these different things? I mean, if there's anything else, I know that others wanted a podcast for all this stuff. So, like a podcast with all these recordings, so that may end up happening. That's something I have to talk to Michael about. Michael is my manager, and he is the owner and CEO of Techopolis. Somebody
Again,
did-
my dissenting voice on that is that if there is a podcast of us talking on here, I won't be on it.
Okay.
So
I will
I mean,
figure out a
I'm
way
only
to
one
get you on.
person, but like, if people are, I don't know.
Yeah, again, I will talk to
Like
Michael.
the YouTube link is the same content as the podcast. So like the link you can give out to people who are subscribed. The podcast anybody can get, and I would rather not like be out there.
Okay. I will see what I can do. But is anybody else opposed to this? Like I said, I will
No,
see what I can
do
do.
let us know, so like, I can just make my decision and listen to the podcast instead of showing up with my stupid questions. But
No, like I said, I understand people are, they don't want to be on different things or whatever, and I
Mhm.
totally get it. And if you don't want to tell me publicly, like people, you guys can email me. I'll put my email in the chat. But I always want to be listening and figuring out what y'all want. And if you have questions but you can't show up, you can always email me and I can address them on air, I guess. So there's a lot of different ways to stay connected. So, um,
Hey, Taylor,
yeah.
I would just say, though, that there's really no such thing as a stupid question.
I didn't say there was.
No,
and
no, no, no,
I
no.
mean, I said that kind of in jest, but like,
Ah,
No, but and that's the only reason I'm saying it, right? Like everybody starts it, and we've all been there,
oh
and
yeah.
we all have different levels of experience about different things. For example, I'm not very strong in Swift myself, so like I would be asking what some people might think are extremely stupid questions, but they're very basic because I haven't been using the language, right? As opposed to
Right.
Python or JavaScript or other web languages I'm pretty strong in, right? Or SQL or database constructs and things of that nature. So I think if I don't want to speak for you, but when I think of a community effort such as this, I think we all need to, at least I hope that we're all assuming that this is a safe place,
Yes,
right?
very safe.
That nobody should feel threatened or feel ridiculed or feel belittled because of them asking a question. Because trust me, we've all been there. And sometimes
Yes.
we all ask ourselves stupid questions. If you don't remember something, you don't remember a function, you don't remember a something, right? Like it's
It happens daily.
it's perfectly fine. Like
It
it's like nobody should feel threatened or nobody should feel like they're being picked on or anything of that nature because of like,
Hmm.
and if they are, then you don't belong here. Like if someone feels
Yeah.
like they're going to treat people that way, we don't want them here.
right.
No.
I'm assuming that's
No.
Jeff. I don't know the voice.
It is
but,
Jeff,
like,
yeah.
I appreciate you saying that, but it's I don't know. I feel safe
I
here.
respect
I'm
your,
like
I respect
don't
your
mind
opinion.
like
I respect,
being
yeah.
I don't mind being in a community, but then when the community is like out there for anybody to listen, and I that's where I lock down on that.
I get it. I just want you to feel safe though, right?
Yeah, totally.
Like you shouldn't feel, and I'm sure that Taylor will, be, come down with a pretty significant hammer if someone is not treating people
Oh, you have
fairly
no
and
idea.
and wonderfully, right? Because like
Yes.
that's just not going to happen here, right?
Heck
So
no. No.
I just thought I'd state the obvious, I guess. Okay, I'm
Oh,
gonna go shut
yes.
up
Yeah.
now. Okay.
No, that's all right, Jeff. If people, yeah, and that's the thing, y'all. I have three rules, okay? Treat everybody the way you want to be treated, be respectful, and have fun, okay? It's not going, people should not be mad about, like, their mad question. And if they are, then you know what? That's not gonna work, okay? Everybody has questions. I just saw one a minute ago. Okay, on another mailing list about iOS development. And you know what? I will answer it when I'm done with this community. When I'm done talking to y'all today. Because you know what? Everybody has questions. I have questions that I asked Michael about development because I'm still learning about iOS development. So everybody has questions, and that's why I made this community because I wish I had this when I started learning to code at 14 years old. Because I didn't have anything like this. And so I wanted to create this thing. And I hope that y'all will, if you have questions and somebody else has an answer, share it, right? Everybody will be a participant of this community in terms of, asking, answering. It will be very discussion based. It won't be just me talking all hour because trust me, I don't have enough to talk about. I mean, maybe I do, but it's nothing you guys want to talk about. But you know what? The thing is, I want everybody to be safe. And if there's a problem, y'all should reach out to me and I will sort it out very fast. Okay? Because I'm not going to deal with any like intolerance or other things. It's just not going to happen. Okay,
Hey,
so thank you.
hey Taylor, I do think the community should speak for itself on the podcast front. There were a few of us that were discussing this, and the only reason that some of us thought it might be useful is because some people utilize things like a Victor Reader Stream or other tools where they can quickly, they have a physical device, they're learning, they're following along with something. They hit a button to pause. They can go try it on their computer as opposed to alt tabbing between, a YouTube video, right? It was like trying to think of ways where we can sort of meet people in halfways, but we also have other vehicles for that inside of Bits, for example, where we're doing, hands-on learning through classes. So it was just that was really the only intent. It wasn't so much just to put people in a position that they feel uncomfortable.
No, and that's not what I'm trying to do. And really, it's just kind of
Exactly.
it's a vote that I'm going to be doing probably on either, well, probably here, but also on the mailing list and probably the Discord, right? I want to take a poll. Who wants a podcast? Who wants this? Because honestly, I want this to work for y'all. Okay, y'all being the community members. And if it's something is not working, I don't like that. Okay, so that's kind of what I want to happen is I want people to feel like, this is worth coming to and this is worth, participating in. So, any other thoughts, Jeff? Because you had a lot to say and I really liked it, and I hope people are at ease. And I understand people may not want to become YouTubers. I understand that maybe, people have privacy concerns, and I get it, and we want to try to help as much as possible. But
No, the
within,
only thing
yeah.
the only thing I would say is like people should learn in whatever style they feel is best for them. And and we should provide as many options for people to become creators as possible. And
Exactly.
so this is just one vehicle to accomplish that goal. And I think it's important that we provide as many options. Some people like just going off and doing it by themselves. Some people like more hands holding constructs. Some people like audio. Some people like video. Some people like text. Some people like books. Some people like, blog posts. Some people like AI. It doesn't matter. As long as you're achieving something, as long as you feel like you're achieving something, then that's what's important. And we can guide you in the learning process as
Yep.
well. But we want to, I often tell people it's best to meet them where they are. And
Exactly.
if you do that, then you can't really go wrong on any path, really.
No, you can't. And the thing is that, there's going to be like blog options. Like if there's a very common question or that like we talk about it for a long time, I also have a Substack blog post where I won't like actually say the like question, obviously who said it, but I might say, during Learn to Code Tuesday, there was a question that was talked about this, and here's what I think about that, right? It can be a blog post, and that way y'all can read and learn it later. So there's so much to explore, and I think the path is definitely like it's keep going, and it's gonna you all are gonna get a lot out of it, and it's going to lead to greatness in the end. So any other questions, or do you guys have any code questions? I think I'm done with logistics. I think. Yes, I think I am done with logistics. There's so many things. But yeah, anybody have questions? Okay, yeah, I just saw a Mastodon post. Okay, there we go. Okay, I think somebody did use my hashtag. All right, yeah, so I have post real quick a question that I just got about how do I install Python? That's an interesting question. Somebody just sent me through Mastodon. So it all depends on your operating system. But the first thing to know is that if you're on Windows, I don't like to install it through the Windows Store. The reason is because I found a lot of compatibility issues with different packages or modules. So what I like to do is I like to go to python.org and I can install it that way. You can also use a package manager called Winget, Winget, install it that way. Winget install Python. And for Mac OS, you can install it through python.org. I never install it through Brew because it creates a lot of problems with environments. And something to note about for Windows is that when you work on the installer to install the Python, you have to allow putting it on the path. Otherwise, if you don't, when you type Python in your terminal, it's not going to work. And you have to run it from the huge Python installation directory, that could be however many levels deep. So I always put it on the path. It's just a simple checkbox in the installer. And if you're on Linux, I think it's already built in. I think I'm not a Linux person. So that's an interesting question. Thank you for asking that on Mastodon. Just an anonymous user, which was interesting. I think Mona's having a moment. But yeah, so thank you for the first question of the year. How to install Python. We're starting off with a good one here. And yeah, anybody else have any other thoughts about that question real quick before we get into other things? I just wanted to answer that because I think that would be a really good thing to start off with. I've installed Python so many times, I don't even know, like at this point, how many times I've installed it.
It's Antonio. I guess that might be maybe a topic for a near future class, because like many people might not know, like they're on the Mac. Okay, and then how you said kind of roughly how we install it, but then people might not know exactly step by step how to go about it. So that could be a topic for a lesson or something like that. But yeah, I have another question once this one is ironed out.
Okay, yeah, what I will say is that like this is not gonna like be a full, in a sense, like a class, like but it's going to, I'll have like presentations on different things, but like this is kind of for y'all to like learn and then ask questions, kind of like a resource sharing thing or a question sharing. And then of course like Bits has a good Python course. Jeff, is that available for everyone now if they want to use take that? I didn't know if like people could sign up for that. Because that's a really good Python resource as well as Free Code Camp.
Where is that? I know Bits, but like I know of Bits, so that's about the knowledge I have. So where would I go if and when it's available for people like to become a member? Then you can take the class. Where's that? Is there a
Jeff,
website
are you here? He's probably muted. Let me see real quick. I can answer. You can go to bits-acb.org and you can sign up for $20 a year. Or you can do $200 a lifetime for a membership.
for lifetime?
So $200 a lifetime, and then $20 a year.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, and then I think Jeff has more information. There's also a Bits developers list that you can be a part of for learning to code and asking developer questions. So that's a good place as well to learn and talk to people about development.
Well, it's Lauren. Excuse me. What was the first thing that you mentioned? That the first resource? I didn't catch it.
Well, I said free code camp.
Yes. After that, that was something with not the best developers list, which sounds good, and then that sounds great that they have that. And then before that, there's something you mentioned.
Is it
Well,
bits
there's
dot
a
dash
the
bits
bit
dash?
ACB.org.
ACB. That, but then there was something before that. It was a
Bits Python course.
yes, but but the new one that they're having that's more of a real advanced, a more high level
No,
one.
yes, but I believe they're going to be having the old one available.
That's yes. That I have. Yes, that's downloaded. Yes, that's
Yeah,
yes.
that's what I was talking about.
Oh, great. Okay. Oh, good. Thank you. Okay.
Welcome. Okay, let me see. Okay. Somebody just asked me a question real quick on email. I had to respond. They couldn't find the Zoom link. So anyway, it's always fun, isn't it, y'all? But thank y'all for being here. I really appreciate it. Uh, any other questions about this? Otherwise, Antonio, I think you can ask your question.
Yeah, I'm ready when you are. So,
Go ahead.
I'm guessing like I'm asking in general for coding, but especially with Python, with all the indenting that goes on. Is there a way that people get through that with just speech to text? What is the preferred other than no, but if even if the preferred is an 80 cell braille display, what are people using for looking at code? Because you're one character off, it doesn't work.
That's a good question. So for me, because I have a like a braille reading problem where I can't read braille because I have no finger sensitivity and no feeling. What I'm doing is I have NVDA set where I can be able to read not dictation, good grief, indentation. And the way I do that is I create a configuration profile. I go to document formatting. I set the indentation level with NVDA and I set it to both speech and tones. And so it'll actually make a noise, like I'll say 4 space, 8 space. And I have an old video which still actually applies on my YouTube channel about how I actually do this process. And that's kind of how I set everything up with VS Code. And I set that so the only thing that will work with that is VS Code. So that's kind of how I do it. But, others may be able to use Braille or other things. So I'm curious what others have to say.
Very few people on this call, but I'm wondering if folks are using, what is that thing called, Emacs Speaks at all. Probably old school, but
I'm not. Mm-mm.
all right, thank you.
I've heard of it, but I don't use it. I use Linux, but I don't use Linux enough to justify it for coding, but I do use it. And this is Chris, by the way. Hey, Taylor, good to see you. And hi, all.
Welcome. I'm putting the video for the screen reader indentation. Actually, that's one of the reasons I started my YouTube channel, believe it or not, y'all. I was helping with a Python class way back when. And people were like, how do I do this with VS Code? So I made a YouTube channel. such an interesting fun fact. There you go. All right. Yeah, welcome, Chris. I just saw that you registered. All right. Yeah, I don't use Emacs. I don't really even use Vim. The only time I had to use Vim is when I accidentally got into it and I had to figure out how to exit. So anyway, that's that. I do use Nano when I'm on Linux though, or when I'm dealing with Linux servers. I'm not really on Linux for the graphical side. I'm on Linux for the just like terminal and like SSH into it, which if you don't know, it's basically where I can, make a connection to the server through my terminal. So that way it's all, non-graphical based. And I like doing it that way. It's better for me. Anyway. So yeah, that's enough about that. But let's see. Anybody else have any questions? Or thoughts about everything, about logistics or other Learn to Code Tuesday things? I will say that the mailing list and the Discord are so both when you join, you have to join all of them separately. So obviously when you register, you'll just be registered, and then if you join the Discord, right, and then you join the mailing list, right, you have to do all that yourself. It's not gonna automatically do it because some people don't want all the different things. So I'm letting you know that that's how this thing works. There'll probably be more options later on, but that is definitely something to keep in mind. We also do have people in other places who can't make it live because they'd have to get up in the middle of the night. So keep that in mind that this community is a fraction basically of what, our entire this Zoom call is only a fraction of the people that would be in the community itself. Let me say that the right way. So keep that in mind. All right. So, yeah, that is just something to understand. But anybody else have any questions? I'm just looking at all the different social media platforms that I have, looking at all the people, people are asking about how do I submit my app to test flight. But I will answer that later. If we don't have any other questions, I want to make sure that I answer everybody's questions first. Before I answer all the social media questions. So anybody have any questions here real quick before I answer those?
Programming for everyone's two M's, right? I don't spell that word often.
Yeah, I can put it in. Are you trying to subscribe to the mailing list, Chris?
That's what I was gonna do, yeah. And then
Okay, here, I'll just put
probably
the link in.
Am I already in the Discord, I think?
I don't know. We have 240 members.
Oh, geez. Okay. Yeah, it's probably that one then. I can see, because I think I was in that one.
Yeah, let me see. I'll put the link.
Okay, yeah, it'll just not prompt the join then if I'm already in it.
Yeah, it's 2 M's. I'll put it in the Discord.
That's what I thought.
Chat.
Okay. Let's see.
There's the chat. Okay. So yeah, y'all join the mailing list. I have to still do some configuration on there too. And we're probably gonna get a lot more registrants as well. So keep that in mind that next week this call may be a lot bigger because I actually promoted it in more places than I did this week because like I told y'all, sickness is in our household during winter break. And so I'm about 5 days behind on where I want to be for work. So yeah, just keep that. Okay. So other things. Oh yeah, social media questions. Let me answer those. I got one of those. So how do I submit my app to test flight if I'm an iOS developer? That's a good question. So first thing is you have to be a Apple developer. You have to have an account with them. It's $99 a year. There's two different types of accounts y'all can have. Okay, so even if you're like not interested in this, it's still always good to learn. That way, if you have other people who have questions about it. So an individual account is something that is, for example, it would say on the developer page, if you open an app, there's like a developer and it has like a name or an org. So a developer, for example, would have Taylor Arndt or Michael Doise or Jeff Bishop or whoever. And then that means that you're an individual developer. You don't have a team, you're just an individual solo developer. Okay, so that's the same price. And then a business organization is still $99 a year. There's more business paperwork. You have to show your business, you have to show all this other stuff. I'm not going to get into it. And the thing that you have to keep in mind there is that instead of saying your name, it will say Techopolis LLC, or well, it still says Techopolis Online Solutions LLC because we've not changed our name yet with Apple. Okay, but that's what it will show there. And the advantage of a business account or an organization account is that you'll be able to get access to add like teams. So you can actually have like me working on the team and Michael, like everybody else. Whereas if you're a developer, it's only a solo developer. So if you want to onboard a team, good luck. You have to actually have them sign into your Apple developer account and then risk getting yourself logged out. So anyway, it's a pain in the butt. Don't recommend it for anybody. Trust me, Michael and I had to do that in the early days when we didn't have a developer account for the organization. It was fun. So after you've gotten your developer account, you are going to first go in Xcode. That's the iOS development IDE. You're going to go to the product menu and then archive. You're going to archive for App Store Connect. But first, before you do that, you have to make sure you have an app icon. Yes, AI can generate some pretty good ones. And you actually have to put it in a certain place in the assets catalog, which is basically where all the images lie for your apps. Once you do that, you will then make sure that everything is good to go. You'll archive and then you will go to distribute. There's a bunch of different options, but you'll hit App Store Connect. It will probably take about a minute or two, and then it will export, and then it will say build ready or done, and then you can be able to open App Store Connect. App Store Connect is the way that developers manage their apps on the Apple platform. And that's what you get when you join as an Apple developer. And then from there, you will go to your app. You go to Test Flight. There's one more checkbox you have to check, and that's for encryption algorithms. I don't even know hardly what that means. I think it's like the different encryption in your app. Most of the time, I just select none, and then I hit save. And then what I do next is if I have an organization account, I add a group. So there's a way you can actually add a group. So for like internal or external testers. So I add that group and then I select whether I want it to be internal or external. Keep in mind that external testers are like people who are not in your org. So let's say like, I don't know, all y'all would be external testers. Then, except like Jeff, because he is in our App Store, like Connect. Let's just say in this example, I'm just making something up here. And then I would submit it to Apple Review. It'd probably take a day or two, and then it'd be available for external testing. Now, internal testing is instantly available. So it's anybody you actually have to invite to your App Store Connect page. You have to go and users and invite them and give them a role, and then they will be able to get beta builds for your apps. And then finally, it is on Test Flight, and then you make another build, and so on and so forth. So that's kind of the long overview of how to get your stuff on Test Flight. But the thing is to know is that you do have to have an app icon, which can be a pain in the butt. But AI helps with that a lot. And you can, you have to ensure that everything meets, the standards for Apple if you're doing beta app review. I've gotten rejected a lot from Apple when I'm learning. Even like when you're not learning, you can get rejected. But those are kind of the steps that it takes to get your app on App Store Connect. All right. So thank you whoever submitted that. So any other questions? I know some people haven't spoken yet, so if anybody has any questions, let me know. But those are just kind of some of the things that I've gotten on social media. And some of those questions. But yeah, everybody can submit questions in multiple ways: YouTube chat, social media, email. Like, there's a lot of ways you guys can submit questions. Okay, so let me check my YouTube chat. Speaking of YouTube chat, let me find YouTube chat real quick. No, I lost my YouTube chat. Let me find it real quick. But I'm always, perhaps I get a call. I always like helping people answer questions, right? Even if it's like very basic, it's all right. Everybody got to start somewhere, like Jeff is saying. Everybody, trust me, when I started, I didn't know what a variable was. Mission 24 accessible. Is this going to be a Python course or an Apple developer course? No, so this is not a course at all. What this is like a question answering. So if you've got a question, let's say you're learning about Python, or you're learning about whatever, this is a community where you can ask questions about what you're learning, right? So let's say you're learning on, Free Code Camp, and you're learning about HTML, and you're wondering, how do I do this, or whatever, I'm struggling with this concept. It's almost like a coding help desk, okay, where you can ask questions. This is not a course. We tried that last year and that just did not work. But this is a kind of help desk where you can ask, coding questions, okay, or get help with your projects. So that's kind of how this is operating. But thank you for your questions. You have a YouTube. Wow, awesome! You have a YouTube channel. You have 3 channels. That's cool. Oh, you're Evelyn. Nice, Evelyn. Yeah, no voice. Oh, no one on voice chat. Now, a lot of times people are not on voice chat on Discord because, we're busy or whatever. But we do have occasional voice chat rooms and our Discord. Okay, so right now I'm just answering a bunch of YouTube chat questions. We got a lot of them also. All right, so I think we're done with YouTube chat for now. I will keep monitoring it. I guess I did not have my Chrome crash. So, any thoughts? Any questions from anybody? I just answered a bunch of questions. But what questions do y'all have about, coding or whatever? Again, this is not a course. This is a way to get help on your projects or what you're learning or concepts or, things like that. It's a way to keep you all accountable while you're learning to code, but it is not a course because, there's a lot of other courses out there, but there's no like community to be able to stay, motivated and ask questions when you're stuck. Okay, this is kind of what this is. All right, so I'm just clearing the water. But anybody have any questions? I don't. Okay. Okay, don't think I have. Oh, wait a minute. There might be another question. Let me see. Yeah, there's no course. Okay. So I don't know that I have anything else. Do y'all have any other questions or thoughts? Or we're gonna probably take some polls. So let's do a vote real quick. Oh, excuse me. How many of you guys want a podcast? Either raise your hand or unmute or tell me in some other way or put it in the chat. How many of you guys want a podcast on this call for all the calls that are happening on Learn to Code Tuesdays? I know, Jeff, you do.
So right now I'm actually in Florida, and normally I am not. And normally I'm working out at this time of day, so on Tuesdays actually. So this would normally conflict. So either an unlisted or whatever, depending on how you guys work it out.
Okay.
Yeah, just because this particular time is like normally not something I can normally do, unless usually I'm flexible, but things happen and yeah.
Yeah, I get
So.
it. Yeah. Okay.
But otherwise, this is great. I mean, I mean, and obviously the mailing list and stuff might be actually much more of a benefit anyway. So who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, and y'all
Anyway.
can ask questions during there too, and throughout the week, and I'll
Yeah,
answer
yeah,
as much as I can.
Of course, that's
But
why.
also, have a good time in Florida.
Yeah, thanks. It's in the 60s, 70s here, and we're gonna be in Alabama also because we have property management here. My parents do properties here and in Alabama, so they're working on them, and I'm just chilling out really and hanging out here, and and stuff.
Awesome.
Still on the job hunt, but we'll see what happens and figuring that out. And
Well,
who knows?
Maybe you can network. Maybe you can network with this community. But, also keep in mind, share this community with others because you never know who will come.
Absolutely. I think I meant to boost your Mastos and never have, so I will do that.
Awesome. Yeah, let's
Yup.
get more people. And if
Yeah,
people
big
eventually
Mastodon
want Facebook
fan,
groups-
so there you go.
Awesome. I'm also on Blue Sky. I just started exploring that. But
Oh, is that
anyways,
right? Everybody's dating on Blue Sky, it seems. Oh, goodness.
Yup. Your
Oh.
birds. Anyway.
Anyway, yeah. But no. Cool. Yeah, I will, I'll certainly look into everything anyways. And
Thank
go
you.
from there.
Sounds like a plan.
But no, I happen to be around, so. So yeah. But no, this is very good. I also wish the same. I wish the same thing you had, like 5 years ago when Free Code Camp was great, but I wish there was up until a few years ago there were things around and there just wasn't too many. So
There was not.
I feel you. I feel you really. So, yeah. It's very good.
Well, thank you so much.
Of course. And I hope you guys benefit for it as much as I hope I do. So there you go.
Oh yeah, everybody's gonna benefit somehow. And I'm gonna be promoting it
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot more places. So.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
But no, I am not opposed. I guess just as long as there's an archive somewhere. So yeah.
Yeah, people like either this is gonna be archived on YouTube on my channel.
Right.
But there's also if there may be an archive on podcast. So that's why I'm trying to take a vote.
I'm subscribed. That's actually how I caught you first, and then I found the Mastos, but never registered because I'm like, and then I just never got around to it, and then YouTube was like, oh, okay, so I just listened to that for a few minutes. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna join the Zoom.
Awesome, thank you. Well,
That's
we'll
what
see
I
what
did.
people think. I'm really wanting to do a podcast on YouTube, and honestly,
Yeah, no, I agree. Although you
Yeah.
can, I think you can do podcast style playlists because I've seen it on YouTube from people. So
that's a good point. I'll have to look into that. Thank you for telling me.
it's interesting. Yeah, I've seen there's like a podcast tab and everything for YouTube creators. So, anyway, just a
Anyway,
thought. But yeah, very good.
all right. Any other people have any other thoughts? Honestly, can't even believe we've got an hour and 2 minutes. Like I told you, it may not last the entire time if we don't have a lot of questions. But we'll see. But yeah, anybody else opposed or for the podcast? I will also be taking a poll on the mailing list and the Discord. All right, so I'll be taking a poll in multiple places. Okay, but let's see. Or do you have something else to say, Chris?
No, not that I, not about this. Although I may just reiterate on the email for everybody else, so in case they just to put my thought in.
Okay, yeah, put it in the email. Oh, Lauren,
Yeah,
do you
I will
have your
do
hand up? I'm sorry, I didn't look at hands because I'm on my
That's all
voiceover off.
right, because I'm very interested also in the podcast and anything on
Okay.
your YouTube channel. I'm very interested in. You mentioned Python. Wow, that's gonna be a big help for me also.
Yes, I've got Python on there somewhere. And I also have a Substack, y'all, because I've been doing a lot more writing. And big
Yeah,
news,
that
nobody
used.
else knows about this. I'm writing a book.
Wow.
I am writing a book right now. Well, kind yeah. I think it's gonna be called like AI for Humans or something. It's like just an introduction to AI. But I'm gonna be writing Python books and Swift books and things. So I am writing a book right now, y'all.
Awesome.
Nobody really knows this about this yet, but when it becomes available, I will distribute it. Obviously, it's gonna be accessible, so whoever thinks they're gonna be typing on Mastodon right now, because I see somebody's trying to send me a DM or something. Somebody's like, "Is this gonna be accessible?" Yes. So stop typing on YouTube. Anyway, I just have to say that because everybody's gonna ask, "Is this accessible?" Yes. I know better.
Exciting.
Yeah. So I'm reading a book. So y'all should well, probably happen. Um hopefully you feel better, Evelyn. But yeah, this is not a course. Like I keep saying, everybody's confused on YouTube. This is not a course. This is a help desk to get help with your coding questions, or if you want to even get into coding, like, or finding a job in coding, or finding clients. Like, there's so many different things to ask. Okay. All right. Um, let's see. Any other votes for the podcast? I think honestly the podcast is going to be the majority at this point. But any other votes on the podcast? Whoever hasn't spoken yet, I want to know your thoughts. But I think most people on this call want a podcast. Okay, so that's something I'll be working on. If the vote goes through. But it seems pretty straightforward that people want that. So, but yes, any other thoughts? I think next week I'll have my stuff more together. Um, but yes, I don't think I have anything else. Does anybody have anything else to talk about today? Any questions? Anything like that? Otherwise, I think we'll call it an early Tuesday, and that way I can maybe get the word out. And of course, we can start marketing. And what I want y'all to do is share it with your friends. Oh, I'm hearing some weird thing in Zoom. Okay, Zoom is crackling. That's weird. Anyway, Zoom is being zoomy today, y'all. Um. Okay, I don't think I have anything else. So have a good day, and we'll see you guys Tuesday. Bye, everyone.